This week's 48 Hours is taking a new look at the kidnapping of 26 children in California in 1976, a story that gained international attention. 3 men hijacked a school bus and then buried the children alive, along with their bus driver. All of the kidnappers have since been released on parole. This morning, we're sharing the story of one of the survivors who gave an interview that has never been seen before. Lead national correspondent and 48 Hours contributor David Begnaud has more.
It was the summer of 1976 when this bus pulled into the small town of Chowchilla, California. Inside were 26 traumatized children. Outside were their frantic parents. These children had been through an unimaginable ordeal. Kidnapped and buried alive inside an old moving truck beneath a rock quarry. 10-year-old Jody Heffington was one of those kids.
They just let us off the bus with all these people, and you didn't know where your parents were. Nothing was ever the same after that.
Police immediately zeroed in on 24-year-old Fred Woods, the son of the owner of the rock quarry, and 2 of his friends, James and Richard Schoenfeld. Jill Klinge was an assistant district attorney for Alameda County.
This crime was planned out for a year and a half in intricate detail. You actually have a document labeled Plan, and it sets out the way they were going to commit the kidnapping.
With the overwhelming evidence against them, the 3 men were arrested, convicted, and eventually sentenced to life with the possibility of parole.
They're young, they're wealthy. I think it added a component of fascination to the story because it was so unlikely that 3 men such as these would commit such an atrocious crime.
Despite Jody testifying at some of the kidnappers' parole hearings, they were eventually paroled and released. She has spent a lifetime trying to find some peace of mind.
It just took something from me that I can't ever get back. And I can't tear it down. No matter how hard I try and no matter what I do.
David Begnaud joins us now from Los Angeles. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning. Good to see you, Adriana.
So we're sorry to say that Jody Heffington died in 2021. David, why is 48 Hours sharing this interview with her now?
Well, so Jody spoke to a producer of ours at 48 Hours years ago, but for security reasons, we were never able to air that interview. She passed away in 2021, as you said, and it was her son's wish for her voice to be heard. So this is one of the few in-depth interviews that Jody ever did, and so we're really happy that the world's now going to be able to finally hear Jody, in her own words, tell her story.
David, we heard about the possibility of parole. One of those kidnappers, Fred Woods, got parole last year. Do we know why?
So, Tony, since Woods committed the crime when he was young, he falls into a California law that requires parole commissioners to actually give weight to freeing inmates who were convicted in their youth but are now elderly and have served long prison sentences, since Fred Woods was 70 years old when he was released from prison.
David, the kidnappers came from wealthy families. Why would they commit this crime for ransom?
So years after the kidnapping, James Schoenfeld said that despite their parents' wealth, Nate, he and Fred Woods were actually in some pretty serious debt. He explained, quote, "We needed multiple victims to get multiple millions, and we use children because children are precious."
Oh. David, thank you so much. You can see David's report, Remembering the Chowchilla Kidnapping, on 48 Hours tomorrow night at 10, 9 Central, right here on CBS and on Paramount+.